Binaltech. There's Binaltech Hound.
Transformers battle cry, robots in disguise, Autobots fighting on crushing Decepticons.
Hi, thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm Ghost Prime, and this is Binaltech Hound. This was released in 2004 as part of the Binaltech line. There was an alternators version of him. That's the American versions of Binaltech, and alternators are all plastic. This is metal. Has a lot of metal on it, and this was designed by Kobayashi, the same guy that's now doing the Missing Link line. So this guy's been with Transformers for quite some time. This is one of his earlier works. As far as alternators go and Binaltech, this is one of the more articulated ones. Still very much a piece of its time. Now, I picked him up very recently, sealed at a Comic-Con near me, and I got it for a killer price. I've been wanting this guy for so long. There are repaints of him. There's an American version, of course, that is Hound, and it looks like this, but it's plastic. And there's also a Swindle version. I don't think there's a Binaltech Swindle.
Wrong.
This is a fully licensed Jeep. I'm going to try to make this review pretty quick, so please like and subscribe and all that. Without any further ado, let's get to the review. And here we have Binaltech Hound in his packaging. Now, this is open. I did open this last week. I couldn't wait to get this out of the package. I honestly couldn't. I had not experienced this before, and I've been waiting so many years for it. But as you can see, there he is displayed in this very open window box kind of design. Transformers Binaltech with a terrible font, terrible Photoshop work on it. BTO4 Hound, Jeep Wrangler. There he is right there, made by Takara. 1/24th scale. Jeep Wrangler logos. You have a window so you can see the front and the back. Little blurb about him. Again, masterpiecey looking. This was definitely the precursor to that. Head, hand, gun, engine, shock absorbers. So yeah, this thing, I love the way these looks. The alternators came a little different. Alternators originally came in a box similar to this, and then they went to sort of like a top clamshell design. This is a clamshell in sort of a different way, which we'll get into in just a second. So you go ahead and you have to pretend this was cut. Open this up, then you can pull out the plastic, and that slides out all in one piece like this. And this is what I mean by clamshell design. So it did have some metal ties up there. These pieces kind of come out, or you can just kind of move them off to the side, take out the figure, put this all back. It was definitely designed to go back into the box if you want to display it in the box. And once he's out of the packaging, the way this package is designed is it has sort of, here, let's get him out of the way real quick. Hound, Binaltech, Cybertron, and then there's logo there, and you can take out this whole piece. Under it, we will find the book, the card, the instructions, and the gun. But this is sort of a way you could just license product there. Hound, Jeep Wrangler. Kind of akin to the Studio Series stuff, so you can have them sitting just like that. I think these are better on their own, personally, because they actually look like scale models. They have all the detail on them that a scale model would, except for, of course, the Autobot logo right there. It has the Jeep Wrangler logo, Jeep on the back, registered trademark. I love the tail lights, which are plastic, separate pieces of plastic. Speaking of plastic, this actually has a fair bit of metal on it, which is different than the alternators. The alternators were all plastic. This whole section of the front, most of the hood is metal. The doors here, which do open, are metal. And it has, like alternators and Binaltech, have a fully sculpted interior, door panels. It has even chromed mirrors there. You're just not going to see this on a modern Transformer at all. Really very cool. Again, he has shocks, rubber tires, rolls exceptionally well. You can open the hood up, which there's the engine right there. And putting it down, this doesn't snap in. You kind of got to do it separately. Not that big of a deal. I mean, Really, really very cool. And if you had a bunch of these, you wouldn't really know that they weren't model cars at first glance. But can it fit a Human Alliance figure in it? The answer to that is probably no. Maybe it can't fit under the steering wheel there, but maybe it could fit in the passenger seat. They weren't really made for figures to go in, but it'd be cool to try it. If I can get him in there. He is just a tad too big. Captain Linux has to find a different ride. But yeah, really cool. Also, the back seats can fold down for storage space. I just do it a transformation, but it's still kind of neat. I think the only thing is the third brake light here isn't painted. Not that that's a big issue, but it's definitely not painted, which is sort of weird because everything else on this is just so well sculpted and done. And here's a quick size comparison of the Alternator's Mirage. The back to back, you see Mirage is a bit longer. Mirage also has turning sort of wheels, which this has the shocks. This can't do the front because of the way the shocks work and the way the arms are the transformation. And there he is with red Sunstreaker for a modern toy representation on scale. Transformation is simple on this guy, not super involved. Now, here we have him in robot mode. Now, I know I didn't show the transformation, but he's been out for a long time. But I do want to touch on a couple notes for the transformation. One thing is the knees specifically need to be like this. They are folded up like that, and you need to make sure they're fully extended for him to even stand. Also, I can't get him to stand with his legs straight, unless it's going to make a liar at me. Liar now makes a liar at me. But what I want to point out is that his joints right here are very weak. As you can see, he's falling backwards. This here is a ball joint, and it's metal up here, so it's very top heavy. And that's one of the problems, is that all the weight is at the top of the robot mode. And I have found that putting him in an A stance gets him to stand just a little better. He does have storage for his weapon in here, and I haven't opened this, and I'm not sure how it opens, which direction it opens. There we go. In there, I have not taken the weapon out of the package. I don't think I need to take the weapon out of the package, so I apologize for not showing you that. But some things, it's just she's going to go like this. I'm going to keep him in Jeep mode, and because I think he looks really cool in Jeep mode. But you see, he's really back heavy. Speaking of the back, this folds up, but it doesn't really fold up super duper well. This is kind of hanging down here. There's no real good way to put it. But a lot of alternators are like that. Alternators and Binaltech are like that. So this is actually one of the better ones in terms of robot design. But we're going to get real close in on that head sculpt. Get that kind of close. Get that close on the head sculpt. Got a pretty decent head sculpt for the time. Really nice paintwork. Really hollow under there. And if you just push it down, it just likes to go down. So it doesn't really snap super well. It snaps to this piece, but it doesn't. This whole piece doesn't snap up, so it does leave it to just fall down if you're moving it. Also, the arms on these it's kind of an old design. I mean, it is what it is. But the head joint is also, it's on a ball joint, but the ball joint is like kind of like that. So when you get maybe a lot of up, you can look down. You get some decent rotation. Can't do 360 though. Arms can go through 360. The shoulders, no bicep swivel. He has wrists. He has kind of typewriter hands with one finger on both side hands. He has a pseudo waist, I guess you could call it. Very open on the inside there. His legs can go out. Not really much to the side. That's about it to the side. You go far to the back. Knees are pretty good full range there. And he has ankle tilts, which is awesome for this figure. It kind of go down a little bit, but that's mainly due to transformation, up and down. And the toe, I guess you could call it, but again, that's more for transformation. You could get him to some okay poses. Like, this is an old figure. It's not really meant to be posed super well. That wasn't the overall goal of these figures. They weren't supposed to be masterpiece, I don't think. I think they scaled with MP1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they sort of were like pseudo masterpieces before the whole masterpiece sort of thing started. Size-wise, he's fairly large. There's a modern deluxe figure there for comparison. There he is with Studio Series Grimlock. So he's got a lot of height to him. There he is with Alternator's Optimus Prime. Yeah, I know the hood's supposed to be flipped down, but I kind of don't like the way it looks. Here he is with MP1, or in this case, 20th Anniversary Optimus Prime. And mine's been through some tough times. So that's the size comparison. So I think as a bot size, that's kind of right. Of course, this is Transformers at the time. They weren't going for scale. I think the car modes scale better than the robot modes, but this is how they look together. So to conclude, it's hard to recommend them for your collection unless you are into scale model cars or you have a Jeep Wrangler. He is awesome as a vehicle. He's good as a robot, and the metal is pretty cool on him. It's one of the draws of him. If you could find it for a really cheap price, I say go for it. Maybe you might be into the plastic one, which still looks good, the alternators version. This one, I'm not sure about the alternators, it's a little loose in the hips. It is something that I can probably fix with floor polish, just by popping them off and popping them back on, because the metal does make him quite a bit heavy in the rear here in the back. So maybe the alternators version would be a little bit better for you on there. However, he is really, really cool, and it's definitely a big moment in Transformers history, kind of pre-masterpiece. This was our masterpiece for a long time. Anyway, I'm super happy to get this guy. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next review.